I got to go into the history so that we understand what happened in antiquity and why, for me, if I'm looking at this, I know that we are all mixed with some of everything because everybody was sleeping with everybody, family members in here, Albions, original people of the land, Moors, Moroccans. And there was some Moors who weren't necessarily from Morocco. That's another story. Everybody was, even when we're talking about British, everybody was intertwined with everybody else, okay? But that being said, let's understand that there was a group of original people in this land, and they were brown people. We've shown proof of that. We've shown images. We've shown documentation. All right? Britain was in here in the 1600s. We talked about the Virginia Company. Let me be clear. When I talk about Britain and the Queen of England and all of that in the 1600s, those were melanated people. They were amalgamated, meaning they had started to mate with Albions, but they were still melanated people. All royalty, whether you're talking about Dutches or French or all royalty, even British, originally was melanated. And so at that time, those melanated people coming into this land, your British or Brutish Moors, a lot of them were melanated, amalgamated because they started mating once again. Then you had Morocco in here. So you got the original people, you got these, what I call elite Moors. These are the ones who set up the United States of America. Why do I call them elite? And I need this to be made clear because somebody asked us a question. He didn't even ask a question. There's no such thing as elite Moors. Well, let me break this down to you. An elite Moor were the people who had a high knowledge of law. Not only law dealing with business and all that. No, law dealing with the esoteric cosmic laws of this dimension. They had a high knowledge. See, when you're talking about the elite today, what makes them elite is their knowledge, not necessarily the money. They got the money because they had the knowledge. They got the wealth and the riches and all that other stuff because they have the knowledge. They got the land, they got access to that because they have the knowledge. That's what makes them elite. So when we're talking about elite Moors, we're talking about some people who had a very serious high knowledge, not only of law dealing with business, but we're talking about law dealing with esoteric laws whereby they knew how to change a dimension. So he goes on to say to me, well, all Moors can do that. All Moors can apply knowledge. Dude, you cannot apply a knowledge that you don't have. So trust me, these so-called Moors today, they don't have that knowledge. That's why they're not elite. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no question or argument about whether they're from Morocco or not. No. These Moors who were in here, they had elite knowledge in how to establish governments. That's what made them elite. All right? So when I say elite Moors, I'm talking about those Moors who established and set up the United States of America Republic. You have to have an elite knowledge to know how to do those things. Because the Moors today don't know how to do that. Otherwise, they would have done it. I know how to do it. I'm elite. So let's get into this thing. We understand there are 4 different groups of melanated people in this land fighting. We need to understand legal documentation that shows what was going on. I want to hear the ancestors speak. So I want to pull up this first document. We're going back to 1777, that time period where there was the Declaration of Independence. There was, the Revolutionary War. When I say I want to hear the ancestors speak, let's see this on the screen. This is a document from 1786 written in the handwriting of one of the Indians. They call themselves Indians. For my people who don't like the term Indian, forgive me, I'm just giving you what they called themselves at this time. All right. So this was one of the Indians from the United Indian Nation at their Confederate Council. Now, you can find this document on our site at UNARepublic.com/docs, DOCS. UNARepublic.com/docs, DOCS. And as we look through here, now I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's 5 pages, but I'm going to read a little bit of it so that you can understand what's going on with these original people. These are the original people of the land. And listen, right here, you can see the names. And I don't want to butcher them, but Cherokees and the Wabash Confederation. Those are the names of the original people of the land. And I need this to be made clear. By law, legally, the only people who have any right to make contracts concerning the land are the original people of the land. But what has happened in this document that it goes into is how these are the original people reaching out to the United States of America, trying to have a treaty of peace with them, but they're being ignored. At this time, you see right here where it says 1786, right there, December 1786. This is before George Washington. Pay attention now, because I know history gets boring and it goes over people's head, but I need y'all to pay attention. Because when you're not listening and paying attention, you miss important things about the history. This is the Continental Congress, quote unquote, Continental Congress time, where all of these presidents that came before George Washington, all these melanated presidents that came before George Washington, this is that time. So these are the Moors at this time running the United States of America. And these are the Indians that are reaching out to them to ask, can we have a peace treaty? Because at this time, these people were killing off the Indians and overrunning territories that had not been promised to them. So let's go into this. I'm going to read this document. I have to, and again, you can pull this down for yourself. So I like to make sure you know where to go so you can find this information. And it's not just you believing me. Don't believe a word I say. I'm showing you where it is. UNARepublic.com/DOCS. Go and pull it down and read it for yourself. Remember to keep that bell on for notifications. Follow UNARepublic for more great information.